Hi, I'm Tom, and this is AC on the Short Alpha Clash podcast, where I talk all things Alpha Clash on my way to work. And today's topic is the new Clash kits coming with Unrivalled. So I made an episode previous on my general opinion about Clash kits and the two that are already out at this point. But I want to talk specifically about this Clash kit. What I think is good and fun about it, and how I think it will stack up against the other Clash kits already out there, or the decks in the Clash kits. So let's dig in. So there are two contenders in this Clash kit. Like all Clash kit, this time it is a black Webber and a white Warcry. So they have. As always, different play styles, but I want to start out with Warcry, because he introduces a new mechanic, and it's a bit interesting. They both are interesting. I'm not going to say otherwise. But let's dig in with Warcry. So Warcry introduces a new mechanic called Exhaust. We sort of know what Exhaust is. We've known always. Oh, I should preface this with, I don't know the exact content of I don't know the exact setup of the contender decks, or the Clash kit decks. However, we do know the mechanics, and we sort of know all the cards that could potentially go in, and we know a few that specifically will be in them due to their rarity. So with that, I don't know exactly how they play, but we sort of know what they want to do. So with Warcry, the new mechanic is Exhaust. So Exhaust has we sort of gleaned that from Warcry early on, that Exhaust was the sort of a double tap. So you engage whatever has Exhaust, you engage that, and it won't ready in your next expansion phase. Sort of you overextend it, you exhaust it in order to get a benefit, but then it's exhausted, you can't use it on your next turn, you have to wait an extra turn. So there's a balance in that. It means you can get some overpower stuff happening, but you sort of have to wait in order to do it again, loaded. And the cool thing about that is it didn't say much about what exactly they did. It did because that is possible to do a lot of things with, and they have done a lot of things with it. So the thing is that when you saw this Exhaust, you can use that to gain any sort of ability. And they have done at least two things in the case of Warcry, where Clash cards, a Clash card has the Exhaust mechanic, where you can overextend it, exhaust the Clash card, and get an extra +1 in attack, I think it is. But you can also do this with weapons, and they have, where the weapon itself doesn't gain anything, but whatever it's attached to gains something. So that opens up a lot of space for future designs, and I would be curious if Exhaust would not be a part of set 4 once that comes out. But let's wait with the hype about that. But that would be a cool thing to add to that too. For now, there are 3 or 4 cards with Exhaust, or interacting with Exhaust directly, which is for a starter kit and a whole new mechanic. That's fine for a starter kit. For a Clash kit, that is fine. And the in my opinion, the opening of design space where you can explore that in the future is excellent to introduce that. I don't know what other colors than white it will come in, but it could fit in other colors as well. Something like blue might have it. So So I like the mechanic, but there's a little nudging. If I attack with a small guy, he gets +1. The effect we get out of the exhaust mechanic is fairly limited. So I'm afraid it's not that powerful. It remains to be seen, of course, but from what I've gleaned, it doesn't seem like it has a really good win condition. It's more of an annoyance. That it might be that in combination with other things and other cards we can get something really powerful out of it, but at first glance it didn't seem like that to me. Well, but then again, I thought so with Mean Streak boosted as well, so, and I've thoroughly been corrected there. So let's see what that is. So the other contender to jump into the other half of the Clash Kit is Webber. And Webber is, unsurprisingly, from a lore standpoint, his backstory standpoint, he is weapon dependent. But he sort of hinted at a new use of weapon, where you attach it to someone you don't control. I'm a bit curious about how that would work, and it turns out the answer is grenades. So you don't play a weapon onto someone else. You add a weapon to one of your clash cards, and then you can, in the case of grenade, I'm going to say throw it onto someone else. That is not what I expected. I did expect there to be a trap that would attach or something like that, and we can still have that. It's just not in this set. But I would expect a trap to be set that sort of exploded the other card. I think I mentioned that we're probably going to see a C4 mine or something like that, but that's not the case. The mechanics is surrounded about grenades, and I had a discussion earlier with someone on Discord. I forgot the name. Sorry. About how many cards there should be for a new mechanic to be viable. If that's sort of the central mechanic, not like Source that can that does very different things, but when there is a specific way to play. And we sort of agreed that there needs to be at least 3 cards, maybe 4, to support that strategy. And very close here. There are in the start deck there's 2 grenades and a new card which I can't remember the name of, that fetches back a grenade for me from my Oblivion. Once it's blown up, I can get it back and start playing it. So that means I have the grenades to use, and I have a way to get them back once I've used them. So even if it's in my opinion the bare minimum for it, this is the Clash Kit, is the starter kit and the introduction of this way of playing, then it is fully okay. There is enough to support the strategy. And I'm of course going to be curious how they want to expand on that at a later point, or this is something that just happens in that Clash Kits. But that is for set 4. That being said, it seems like a fun mechanic to play. It's very coherent. It has a single strategy. I want to grab a grenade, I want to charge, I want to throw it at you, attach it to one of your cards, and harm it for a period of time. There is a few hoops to jump through in order to do that. You have to get a grenade, you have to attach it, and you have to attack with your clash card into another clash card. into at least a field where there is another clash card, and that is a bit dangerous. But it looks fun, if not super efficient. But that still, again, that remains to be seen whether it is super efficient. But you could extend that deck with the existing support for weapons. So, an interesting play. So, out of the two, I am definitely most excited about getting to play Webber at this point, where Warcry might be good at a later stage. Let's see. Hopefully it will turn out like two good decks. However, on top of that, what I think about the matchup between the two, I think that is just like always. That might be a very, very good matchup. They seem to me, for what I've gleaned so far, like two very equal decks in power-wise. They play very differently, which is the power of the clashkits, and I think that is continued forward. But they play, because they play very differently. Are they powerful enough to fight previous decks such as Magnate and Mean Streak? I don't know. They seem to me a little less powerful. So if I were to go to a Clash Kit event, I wouldn't bring one of these in if I want to try to win. Then I choose Machina or Magnate if I was trying to win. But that might be because I'm a simple player. If I was playing for fun, I think I'd bring Webber, because that mechanic is just, it's annoying to the opponent in a good way. Or at least that's how I see it at the moment. I might be wising up a bit once they get out. Anyway, I'm looking forward to getting them and playing them, and for the new set to release in just a few weeks. But that was all for me today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.